Hey guys, welcome to the Weight Loss by Pete podcast and daily vlog, depending on how you're ingesting this. I'm Pete Weintraub, permanent weight loss specialist, and today we're going to talk about whether or not fitness watches can help you lose weight. Now, this idea came to me yesterday, Sunday afternoon. I was watching the New York Jets play the Miami Dolphins on Fox, and during every single commercial break, they had a new commercial for the new model of the Fitbit. And being that I'm in a lot of weight loss support groups, I have my own, the permanent weight loss community. Link can be found down below for that. On Facebook, I decided that we talk about that a little bit today. So I personally own a fitness watch. If you can't see this, if you're just listening to the podcast, I have the newest form of the water-resistant Apple Watch. So it obviously has a lot of features beyond just the fitness. But long story short, a lot of these fitness watches, if you don't own one, can tell you how many steps you took on a daily basis, extremely accurate with that. Your heart rate used to be not so accurate, but now even the wrist watches are within 5% of what your heart rate actually is. Calories burned, not all that accurate. And in fact, the Stanford School of Medicine said that 6 out of 7 were terrible in terms of figuring that out because, look, all of us were different body composition, ages, genders, ethnic backgrounds, and believe it or not, your genetics do play a role in how much or how little you burn off. So having a generic algorithm in there that's guesstimating how much you're burning from a caloric perspective isn't all that great. And let's be honest, guys, when it comes to the physical side of losing weight and getting into better shape, fitness is at the bottom of the totem pole. If your nutrition sucks, if you're not eating right, or if you're, well, you can still not be eating right, but be on a caloric deficit. If you're sustaining a caloric deficit for a long-term period of time, and I know there have been some recent studies that have come out that have disputed the fact that your body goes into a starvation mode where instead of having different insulin responses based upon the macronutrients you ingested, your body will hang on to everything, good, bad, or indifferent, and store it as fat. That's an evolutionary mechanism. A lot of studies have come out in recent years, or not recent years, but in the past year, and refuted that. The issue with that, though, is that I've personally been through a 100-pound weight loss journey, and the conventional eat less, and I was down to about 1,400 calories a day. And for a guy who's 6 feet tall and who started off at 285 pounds, that's a very small amount of food. And I got down there because I kept plateauing, and I kept trying to push the envelope, and unfortunately, it didn't really work. So during the first 4 months of my 100-pound weight loss journey, I lost 40 pounds. So I averaged 10 pounds a month, was doing great, and figured, great, I'll just continue to follow what MyFitnessPal tells me, and I'll just continue to bust my ass in the gym. Unfortunately, from that point on, for the next nearly 3 years, I sustained the same weight. No matter what I did, no matter how low I pushed my calories, no matter how long or how hard I worked out at the gym, I just could not lose the weight. So when it comes to talking about, there's two different schools of thought. One saying, oh, constant calorie restriction and you're good, versus, well, you can calorie restrict for a while, but eventually you'll go into a starvation mode. I believe from personal experience that it's the starvation mode that carries out in a lot of people, because a lot of my clients too over the years, I've been in the health and fitness industry for 10 years. I've specialized in weight loss for the last 5. And talking to a bunch of different people, different genders, obviously, ages, different areas of their lives, all of them tried some form of calorie counting and portion control. They tried Weight Watchers, something like that. They'd see results for the first few months, maybe sometimes even less. And then, unfortunately, they would plateau. They'd grow discouraged after a couple of months, and they just stop. And they come back on, see a little bit of progress in the beginning, then they'd plateau, and they just stop. So I firmly believe that nutrition is key, and it's all about insulin response, guys. So there are 3 macronutrients that human beings eat. There's fats, there's protein, there's carbs. Now, of the 3, 2 are essential, and that means that those 2 essential macronutrients are needed. We have to physically ingest them in order for our bodies to function optimally. The 2 essential macronutrients are fats and proteins. Now, I'm not saying carbs, which are non-essential, are all bad, but because of our fat stores and because protein also, believe it or not, elicits a small insulin response, we can generate enough carbohydrate and glucose in our systems in order to function optimally if we eat closer to a ketogenic diet. I have something called the lipolytic diet, which you can find by going to weightlossbypete.com/5, the number 5 strategies. So really, really quick, if you're eating a very high carbohydrate diet that's loaded with refined and processed grains and sugars, which, let's be honest, here in the United States, I had a call with a member of my permanent weight loss community on Facebook last Friday, and it's the same thing where she lives in New Zealand. We got the food pyramid. Carbs are the biggest part of it. Over 55% of what we're supposed to eat is supposed to come from there. And it's mostly supposed to come from refined grains, breads, pasta, rice, and things like that. That's not what we want to eat, guys. There's one simple sentence that was coined by CrossFit founder Greg Glassman. And look, I know a lot of people don't like CrossFit. There are physical therapists and chiropractors' dream, but his sentence that he coined on nutrition is the best sentence that has ever been created, in my opinion, to keep nutrition in perspective. And you can apply it to literally any situation, whether you're eating at home, then you're preparing a meal or a snack, whether you're eating out at a restaurant, or whether you're bringing home some form of takeout. So the sentence is to eat meats, eat vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit. And what I mean by that, and what he means by that, is low glycemic fruit, anywhere from 0 to 49 on the glycemic index. If it's 50 or above, it's going to elicit quite an insulin response. Over time, the excess blood sugar in your system will be stored as fat, which can lead to fat accumulation over time, and also prediabetes that can lead to type 2 diabetes, which is a precursor to a lot of preventable but life-threatening health conditions like heart disease, various forms of cancer, neurological conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Now, so some fruit, and back to the sentence, little starch, so half a cup or less at any meal. If you're going to eat starch, preferably starchy vegetables, potato, corn, beans, sweet potatoes. You want to stay away from starchy grains. Again, the breads, the pastas, the rices of the world. Modern grains have no nutritional value. They're inflammatory, and there's a lot of correlational studies that have been linking them to some of our illnesses and some of the increased incidences of obesity, tooth decay, type 2 diabetes over the last 60 or so years, since our government started recommending that the citizens eat more of those types of foods and less dietary fat. That was a demonization that should have never happened, but whatever. Long story short, from my perspective, I use my fitness watch to keep tabs on who's calling or texting me if I'm in a session with someone or I can't get to the phone. So that way I make a mental note, okay, I can get back to this person. Or if it's really quick, the Apple Watch at least gives me some canned responses that I can send back to people. And usually they're fairly accurate. So if it only needs a 1 or 2 word response, it's usually already there. You can pre-program in some others, but that keeps that in check. And then on top of that, it can measure your steps. Personally, I don't care about that, but hey, the more active you are, the healthier you're going to be. Fitness, exercise, all been linked to better health, and when coupled with good nutrition, like in the sentence I just mentioned, it can lead to expediting the process on your weight loss journey. But that being said, if you're exercising hard and you're eating like crap, you're not going to see results. You're going to become discouraged, and you're going to fall off the wagon even further. And then lastly, heart rate. So if I'm slogging through a workout, I just don't feel like doing it that day, and my heart rate's not where I want it to be, because now these wristwatches are so accurate. They're within, again, 5% of what your heart rate actually is. I'll push it a little bit, and in turn, I'll get a better workout in. And by the time I'm done, if I'm feeling down or depressed or anxious or just tired and sluggish, I'll come out of the session feeling a hell of a lot better. The motivational tactic or as an administrative assistant in terms of, really helping me to lose weight. Also, the calories burned that these watches measure, again, based on an algorithm. And again, the more data it has, the more accurate it is. But that being said, based upon our genetics, our ethnicities, our age, our physical history, our fitness background, we're all going to burn calories at different rates. It's extremely hard to figure out one basic equation for everybody. So just like with calories in, calories out not being the best form, of sustainable long-term weight loss, this also isn't an accurate measure, A, and B, isn't something that you need to consider. So long story short, can fitness watches help you lose weight? If you use it as a motivational tool to keep you more active and you're coupling it with good nutrition, yes. If you're looking at it solely from the calorie perspective, then A, that's inaccurate, and B, it doesn't matter, because due to the inaccuracy and due to the fact that the physical requirements for weight loss are much more based on the nutrition side versus the fitness side, it's kind of a smoke and mirrors to play on your vanity and keep you from reaching your goals. So I just wanted to share that. Now, I mentioned earlier in this video or podcast that I have a new free Facebook group. It's called the Permanent Weight Loss Community. You can just search for it and ask to join, or you can go to the link down below in the descriptions and join. Basically what this group is for, it's for people who have 50 or more pounds to lose. They're tired of yo-yoing with their weight, not knowing what to do, and they're looking to either avoid some preventable health condition like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, various forms of cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, whatever, or they're looking to avoid some gastric bypass or weight loss surgery. That I've had many clients over the years that have had these surgeries and have not seen sustainable results. So something to consider. So if you're interested in that, again, the link is down below in the description, or you can just go to Facebook, go to the search bar, type in Permanent Weight Loss Community and ask to join. There are a few questions that I'll ask you to answer before entering. But once you answer them, you fall within the criteria, you have a good reason to be there, then great. We'll be welcome to the community. Every Thursday, I'll be doing a Facebook Live video based upon stuff you guys want to hear as group members, so that way I can give you more clarity and more direction in terms of you finally reaching your weight loss goals and learning what you need to learn to stay there. Again, I'm Pete Weintraub, Permanent Weight Loss Specialist. Thanks for listening to the Weight Loss by Pete podcast or the daily vlog here on YouTube. If you can, subscribe either to the YouTube channel or to my podcast, depending on which one you're listening to. I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.